Alright guys, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can go ahead and customize your debut theme within Shopify. So debut theme is the theme that all Shopify stores start out with by default when you go ahead and start a Shopify store. And if you haven't already opened your Shopify store yet, you can start your 14-day free trial by clicking the first link in the description. So I figured I'd make this video because debut theme is one of the most commonly used themes because it's the one that all stores start out with, and debut theme actually looks really good. So right here we can see that this is what debut theme looks like when it's first installed with absolutely nothing filled out. So we can see that we have where our logo should be. We have a big header right here with some text. We have an image here. We have 3 images with text below here. We have a empty collection, and we have another header type image right here, another wallpaper image. We have some testimonials, and we have 3 images down here, and then we have the footer. So right now we have a nice little template, but it's blank. So if you're looking to go ahead and fill out your store using debut theme, the first thing you're going to want to make sure you have is a few key things. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up a notepad and just make sure, because before you go ahead and start the design process, you're going to need a couple things. So the first one's going to be a logo. So I assume you already have a logo at this point if you're ready to start your store design, but if not, then make sure you get a logo first, because everything else is going to be based around the logo. And then we're going to have a color scheme selected, and normally this color scheme is going to be derived from colors from your logo, and typically you're going to use 1 to 2 colors to base your entire store around, and like I said, these colors will be derived from the logo. And the next thing we're going to need is a couple wallpaper photos. So we can see we're going to need some photos to go ahead and put back here in this header. We're going to need some photos to put back here in this header as well. So if you have any large photos related to your business, go ahead and upload them to your computer or put them all in one folder so we can go ahead and use them as backgrounds here. And if you don't, you can use different sites such as Pixabay to find free stock images that you can go ahead and use. So let's just type in something like fishing. So if you had a store related to fishing, you could go ahead and just look for different stock photos here, or maybe you have something related to yoga or fitness. You can type in a lot of different niches depending on what your store is based around, and you can use some of these wallpapers to go ahead and put back here. Now obviously I do think it's better if you have your own custom photos, but not everyone's going to have that starting out. So if you don't, you can go ahead and use Pixabay to get some related photos. So we can see that based on the template here, we're going to need at least 1 and 2 bigger photos, and then we're going to need about 5 smaller photos to go ahead and put in here, and down here. Now, one thing to keep in mind is we don't have to go ahead and utilize every one of these sections, and I'm going to show you how you can add and delete sections, but you just want to go into the design process with all of these different things in place already, because it's going to make things a lot easier. So make sure you have a logo, select your color scheme based on the logo, have a couple of wallpaper photos, have about 5, maybe in 5 to 10 smaller photos. They can be of your product, they could be of something related to your business, but just make sure you have 5 to 10 smaller photos. And then make sure you just have like business details, so like slogans, taglines, selling points, just different type of details that we can use to go ahead and fill out this page with. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and get started with customizing this. So in order to customize the theme, all we have to do is come over here to Online Store Themes and then click Customize. Now, I already have all of the stuff that I'm going to put in to the design, all the details that I'm going to put into design prepared ahead of time, which is, like I said, what I would recommend you do as well, because getting all of this is pretty much the first half of the work done. It's just getting what you're going to fill in the store with, and then once you have this, it's literally just about filling it in and then customizing different sections and getting rid of certain sections. So where we pretty much start things off is with the header. So if we open up header right here, the first thing we need to do is upload our logo, which we can do right here by selecting an image. So all we have to do is click upload, and I'm going to go ahead and upload a logo right here, and I'm going to go ahead and click select, and then we can go ahead and customize our logo width right here. So I'm going to go ahead and make it big, and we can choose whether we want this centered or to the left, and I'm going to keep it to the left right here. And the next thing we can do is change the menu we have here. We're going to just keep this as the main menu, and then we can come down here to announcement bar, and a lot of the time you'll just go ahead and show an announcement bar, so you can kind of put an announcement up here. So this is where you can put something that's relevant to your business, whether that's like a discount you're running, a promotion you're running, free shipping, or just any type of details really that have to do with your business. So in this case, the example design I'm going to be going for is a local cookie business. So I'll go ahead and put something like this. And then down here we can go ahead and paste a link if we want this to link to anything. So if you are promoting like a specific sale, then you could have this link to a specific sale. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and not link to anything. And this is where the second part right here, the color scheme, is going to come into play. So we want to make sure that our store looks fluid and looks like it kind of blends together. We want to make sure that it actually looks good. So in order to do that, we need to have a set color scheme. We can't just have random colors wherever we want. So we can see how if our logo is brown, then we probably want to stick to this type of color scheme. We wouldn't want to come down here and make this any color like this, because that just doesn't fit in at all. So what we want to do is find the exact color from our logo, take one of the colors from our logo, and there's one of two ways you can do that. One is with a photo editor like Photoshop, which I'm going to do right here. I'm going to just use the color picker, and in this case the most prominent color in the logo is this darker brown, so I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to take this 6-digit code right here and use this to match the exact color. Now if you don't have Photoshop or photo editor, you can just go on Google and search up hex color finder. And actually, if I go really quick, if we go to hex color, if we go, actually I believe it's hex color finder. Yeah, it's this site right here. So HTML colorcodes.info. You can come here, you can upload your logo like this, and then you can just click and you get the same exact color code right there. And we're going to be using this code for the rest of our designs. We're going to go ahead and put in that color, and now the brown goes ahead and matches our logo right here. And as far as the text for what's going to go up here, normally you're just going to decide what looks better on the background color between white or black. So if we go to black, I personally think that white looks better, so I'm going to go back to white. And now we're done with the header, and I'm going to click save, and we can see that now we've already got a decent amount of progress going. So the next thing that I'm going to do is we're going to start looking into this section next, which is right here. So we can see that each one of these sections is correlated to a section on the debut theme preview right here. And if I click on one, it takes us to that specific one. So I'm going to click on the top one, and we're right here. So now we need to go ahead and take one of our wallpaper images, so one of our bigger images, and put it as the background here. So we're going to go ahead and upload this, and once it loads, we're going to go ahead and click select, and then right here we can change the alignment, whether we want it to show the top half, the bottom half, or the middle. I'm going to keep it centered, and we can choose between full width and fixed width, but in this case I think full width looks better. And then we can change our section height, so we can make it tiny or we can make it really large. In this case I'm just going to keep it as the default of large, but you can go ahead and look at all these different ones to see what you think looks the best for you. And then you can change the text size as well. In this case I'm going to stick with large. And then right here we have the heading text. So this is where you just want to put something relevant to your business. You can just put something like welcome or like the name of your store. This is essentially where you're just going to put a greeting, and then right below in the smaller text down here you can put something like a tagline. So as you can see, I've went ahead and put in a few examples of that right there. And then we can also add a button. So if we wanted like a shop now or an order now call to action button, we could put that in here. So in this case I would go ahead under button label, and it shows what we put here is what the button would say. So if I put order now, and then we have to select where it's going to link. So if I click on this and I go to products and I select all products, then this button, we can see now it says order now, and this will take us to our entire catalog of products right here. And you can see just like that, in a couple more minutes, the top half of our debut theme is already looking pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and save our changes again, and we're going to go back. And now what we're going to do is go to theme settings, because we can see that this button does not match the color that we're going for, and there wasn't an option to change that in there, and that's because we have to change it within the theme settings. So we're going to go ahead and open this up and then click colors, and then right here if we open up text we have the headings and links. So this is going to be like this color text right here, and what I'm going to do is make this all black, or full black rather, and you can make it whatever color you want to go with. However, I think in this case all black, solid black looks the best. And then we have this body text right here, which is this, and I'm going to go ahead and make that solid black as well. And then the sale price, this is if we put a product on sale. Typically red is associated with sales, so I'm going to keep that as red. So the primary buttons, that's going to be right here. So this is where I want to open this up, and I'm going to go ahead and put in the same color code that we used for the announcement bar, and you can see it's actually in our recently selected colors. So I'm going to go ahead and just select that right there, and we can see that now that is already set up, and now our button matches and it looks a lot better. So the primary labels is just going to be the text right here, and we can see that we're just going to go ahead and keep that text as white, because we already determined that white text looks good right here. So the next thing that we want to edit on this page is the image overlays. So right here, the image overlays is going to affect anything that we have an image in the background for. So we can see that it's going to affect this, and it would affect like this down here. It would affect this if we put text on it. It's going to affect anything that we have an image with text and buttons on top of. So we can see that if I change the opacity, and it's going to take a second to update, but we can see that it makes it very hard to see through. The opacity is just essentially how thick the overlaid coloring is going to be over the image. So the point of the image overlay is to make it easier for you to read the text. So the lower the opacity, the more the text kind of just blends in with the background image. So normally you want some opacity, just that way you can see the text easier. So I'm going to go back to where we were before at 40, but in this case what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change this background, because I don't like this gray color here. I don't think it looks as good, and I'm going to change it to just black, and I think that looks a lot better with the white text. That makes the white text stand out a lot more. So you can mess around and determine which colors you think looks the best, but a black background looks good a lot of the time, but it does depend on what text you're using as well. So that's all we're going to edit within colors. And if we come back here, I'm going to go ahead and open up typography next, and this is where we can change our fonts. Now, in regards to the fonts, I would recommend using more basic, easy to read fonts. A lot of times people want to use fancy fonts that look cool, which is fine, but sometimes it's just a lot more of a pain to read. So I will say keep your body text with a very basic, easy to read font, and if you're going to use a fancier like handwritten looking font, then stick to using that with the headings and buttons. So we can see up here, this font is going to change like our headings and our buttons. So like our headings, and then body text is going to be all of the smaller text, all of our product descriptions and things like that. So to show you what it looks like, I'll go ahead and change our heading to one of the fancier looking fonts, and we can see that it's going to change right here. So it made our heading text look like this, and we can see it shows up here and shows up here, and it shows up as the product names, but we can see that the rest of our text is still clear and easy to read, and I would recommend sticking with a clear and easy to read font for the majority of your text. If you want to make your headings look a little bit different, that's fine, because it's bigger and it's not like a big block of text that's hard to read. So I'm going to go ahead and go back now, and the next thing we can do here is go to our social media. So this is where we can put in our different social media links. So any of your social medias, you want to just go ahead and link in here. So if you have a Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, put in as many as you have for your business. You can just paste them right in here. And then the favicon is next. So the favicon is what's going to show up here in the top left corner for the site, so you can see where the Shopify bag logo is. You want to go ahead and put you want your logo rather to be up here instead of the Shopify bag. So what you want is a variation of your logo that's a perfect square that has no letters or words or anything. It's just like the icon from your logo. So in this case, I would upload it and it would just be like the cookie itself. This would be the favicon. And then we'd go ahead and put that in there and save our changes. So at this point, that's all we would need to edit within theme settings. So we've already made a lot of progress here editing the debut theme. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to head down to this second section right here. So this is where if we click on it again, we can open it up, and this is where we'd want one of our 5 to 10 smaller photos and some of our business details. So we would go ahead and select an image, upload, and we go ahead and upload one of our square shaped photos right here, and we can go ahead and click select, and then we can go ahead and put in more details about our business here. So we could go ahead and describe different things. We could describe a specific one of our products, or if we have one product, we could describe features of that product. There's a lot of different things we can put in here, and there's going to be a lot of differences depending on what you're selling. So I can't tell you exactly what to put here. I can only just give you a general idea, which is why, like I said, half of the battle is doing this up front, getting all your photos, your logo, your color scheme selected up front, and having a bunch of business details ahead of time. So slogans, taglines, selling points. You want to do all of this up front, because if you have this done up front, it makes the design process extremely easy, because you have all the information, you're just putting it in. So as we can see here now, we could go ahead and put another button here if we wanted to, and you do that in the same fashion that we did up here. You type in the button name, and you would go ahead and choose where you wanted to link. In this case, I'm not going to put a button here, so I'm just going to go ahead and back out. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and show you how we can actually edit these columns and delete certain ones. So in this case, I could go ahead, and if you want to change what this stuff looks like, I can go ahead and, let's say I want to take these 3 and drag it to the bottom. I can click these 6 red dots right here, and I can drag it all the way down to the bottom, and we can see that now these are all the way down at the bottom. But let's say I didn't want this section at all. I could go ahead and click it, and then just click remove, and it's gone. And let's say I wanted to add a different section in, I could go ahead and come back in here, and we can see there's a lot of different options, and if you click on them, you can see that it will show a preview. So we can preview all of the different options right here, and you can go ahead and choose what you want to go ahead and add in. Now in this case, I'm going to just go ahead and stick with the basic layout here of debut, because a lot of times themes come out of the box already looking pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick with that. So the next section here is going to be the featured collection. So this is where we can feature some of our products. So obviously at this point, you would already need to have your products added to your store. In this case, I've already went ahead and added a few products to the store, but if you do not have any products in your store, then you're not going to be able to do this yet. You're going to have to go and add products to your store and put them in a collection, and then go ahead and come back. Actually, really quickly, I can show you how to create a collection real quick. So if I go up to the Shopify bag here, I'm going to right click, open link in a new tab, and we're going to just go ahead and create a collection really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and go to products, collections, and I'm going to click create collection right here, and we're just going to name this cookies. And I'm going to go ahead and, for the sake of this tutorial being quick, I'm just going to manually create this collection. Click save, and then I'm going to come in here, search products, click browse, and I'm going to add all three of these products to my collection. Click add, and now the products are updated. So I'm going to come back over here to this page and make sure that we've already saved, and I'm going to click refresh. And then once this refreshes, I'm going to come back to the featured collection, and what we need to do here is just click select collection, and I'm going to select the collection that we just created, and now that's going to show up right here. I'm going to click select, and we can see that we need to adjust the products per row because we have 3 products in this collection, yet it's formatted for 4. So if I drag this over to 3, we can see that now that looks a lot better. And we can choose to show different buttons if we want to view all products in the collection. We can choose to show product vendors. In this case, I will go ahead and keep both of these unchecked, and then we can change this text up here from featured to collection to something like our favorites. And I'll go ahead and click save here, and we can see that the design is coming along nicely already. Debut theme is very user friendly, it's really easy to set up, and it looks really good. So the next thing we're going to do is the next sections. We're going to just keep coming down the list, and at this point you're probably already getting more and more comfortable with the Shopify editor and how to go ahead and use it. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and just click select image, and at this point this is where we want our second wallpaper style photo. So I'm going to go ahead and upload another one right here, and we're going to go ahead and select this, and then just like up top we can change the alignment, we can change the width. I'm going to go ahead and keep everything as default because I think the debut theme out of the box already looks pretty good with all of the base settings, so I normally don't play with it too much. And then this is where we put in some of our business details, taglines, slogans, different marketing copy, and things like that. And we could create another button just like before, but in this case I'm not going to. So I'm going to go ahead and click save like we do after we edit every single section. And we can see that we are already almost done customizing the theme. So now we come down here to testimonials, and this is where we could go ahead and fill in different customer testimonials we have. So we could go ahead and name this section testimonials, or in this case I'll name it what our customers are saying. And then if we open up these testimonials here, this is where we can go ahead and just fill in different information. This is where we can go ahead and fill in testimonials. So you would go ahead, and if you already had some customer testimonials, which I actually should have included in here, as far as business details go, testimonials would also be valuable to have on hand. And you can go ahead and just paste different customer testimonials that you have in here. So in this case, I'm just going to type in like really quick ones just so this video doesn't go too long, but obviously you'd want real testimonials that you already have that are genuine, because it's normally pretty easy to tell when testimonials are fabricated. But that's how we can go ahead and fill in this section, and we can go back, click save again, and we can see that now we just have one section left. So if I go ahead and select gallery, down here we're editing this last section, and we can go ahead and change the height of these different photos if we want to. But like I said, normally the default setting is going to look pretty good, because the themes out of the box normally look pretty solid. So if I go ahead and click an image right here, select an image, now this is where we want to take more of our smaller photos again and put them in here. So this is where I will go ahead and take some smaller photos and upload them in here. So you can upload the photo, click select, you can change the alignment again of the photos, but in this case we will keep it minimal. You can add a caption right here, so if I like typed hello, you can see it will show up right here and it will dim the background photo. In this case, I'm going to just go ahead and keep the photos blank and not put any captions or anything over it. And we could also paste the link if we wanted this picture to be clickable. We could have it linked to a specific product as well, but in this case I'm just going to make it look visually appealing, and that's it. So then we come down here and we can go ahead and just do the same thing with this one. We can go ahead and upload a second image, click select, it's good to go. And then this third one, we do the same thing, upload the last image, come in here, click select, and we are good to go. So now I'm going to click save again, come back, and you can see just like that we have went ahead and completely filled out debut theme in under 30 minutes. And if you want to go ahead and do more, you can, like I said, add in individual sections over here, and when you click them you can preview what they will look like, and then you literally just go ahead and fill in the information just like we've been doing with every other section. So with that said, if I go ahead and come back here really quick, and I'm going to just open up the store, and we can see that in about 25-30 minutes we've went from the blank skeleton of debut theme we just had earlier to a completely filled out, great looking home page. So that's how you go ahead and customize Shopify debut theme. Like I said, half of the work is having all of this necessary content ready and set aside and saved in a folder ahead of time, because if you do, then you can go ahead and just place it inside of all these different sections, and you can always play around with different header photos. So maybe you could put like this bottom wallpaper on top, and you can mess around and figure out which photos look best where. But that is how you go ahead and customize debut theme in Shopify. So if you found this video helpful, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.